fuck?
Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, KG. With me tonight, as always, is the Hall of Famer, WCW, WWF, Florida Championship Wrestling, the Cooker, Bob Cook. And with us is Robbie Ido, WCW, author, international heartthrob. How you gentlemen doing?
Why is he the only one out of the three that doesn't know how to aspect ratio that son of a bitch from phone to the right or left to the landscape mode? I don't know.
Because I'm computer illiterate.
Oh. Well, I don't have a computer either. I just use a phone.
Well, the phone, hey, it's still a computer, and I'm still computer illiterate.
That's true. You can watch porn on the phone, so it is like a computer. Oh wait,
you're not the only one. I can't figure out the smallest shit to do to try to make this podcast better as far as graphics and other shit. Tonight we're doing the Monday Night Recap. It was John Cena's last appearance on Raw, live from Boston.
Incredible.
Opening segment. The show kicked off with Triple H in the ring to introduce John Cena. He went on and on about the greatest, about people's opinions and why John Cena is the greatest. John Cena came out, obviously, to an incredible pop. John Cena started talking about the way that they're going to figure out who his last opponent is going to be. Then Intercontinental Champion Dominik Mysterio interrupted, said that this is about him, not John Cena. Told John Cena that he was better than him in any era, any age, and that he would face him at any time, which then led to Triple H making that match. And it started right then and there. Guys, starting with you, Bob, your thoughts.
How can you take someone serious who doesn't go to the gym and looks like a walking billboard for ignorance with all those tattoos from the neck on down? No, you can't take him seriously. And by the way, the greatest of all time threw three of the absolute greatest, worst punches of all time in the show last night. One against Don that also sold with about a 6-inch from his head in the most lazy, pathetic manner possible. No, I get it. John Cena's great. They actually had a sold-out crowd last night, but that doesn't give you an excuse to be on a worldwide stage and throw punches so bad that a skeleton could do better if you brought it from the dead.
You know, I will agree with you with the punches. I even told my wife, I went, oof, Bob's going to be going nuts over those. Now, I will disagree with you, though, with Dom. He has gotten bigger somewhat. And let's not forget how small his dad was.
But can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Those punches remind me of Robbie Idols, except his hurt. It's kind of weird. Just a joke. Just a joke.
But yeah, I think that, look, Dom is definitely bigger than what his dad was at this point of his dad's career.
You mean taller?
No, Rey Mysterio was a stick when he was with the WCW, and even when he went to WWE. Matter of fact, he didn't really gain a whole lot of size until after he left WWE, if you guys remember, and then when he came back a few years later, because the whole thing was like, holy shit, look how big this guy's gotten. There were things about the match that I thought was great, but also things that I didn't like as well. I think the spot, the kind of the homage to Eddie Guerrero with the whole chair thing, especially John Cena kind of winking when the camera panned close to his face. I thought that was great. I got a laugh out of that. And what I liked as well was I didn't know where this match was going to go to because John Cena, he is leaving here in about a month, if not less than a month, this last match on Saturday night's main event. So the question was, is he actually going to win the title? And if so, are they going to retire? Is John Cena going to drop the title before he leaves?
Yes.
So, that's the part that I liked. Robbie, what did you think about the segment and the match?
I think I give John Cena credit. I mean, for as long as he's been there, he's, good on the mic. But to say he's the greatest of all time, I don't put him in the top 25. You can name 25 guys that were way better workers. Maybe not better on the mic, but way better. I do not put him in the class of a Ric Flair, a Jerry Lawler, a Terry Funk, Dusty Rhodes. There's people that are, to say the greatest of all times, he sold out his backyard to give, on the mic, the dude was good.
Right.
You look at him from when he started to even now, his punches were never great. He basically had 5 moves, but hey, to his credit, he's had longevity and stuff like that. I like the match. I think Triple H kind of, again, in the beginning, we just draw shit out so long, it was like, I liked how they set it up. What gave it away, when you're saying who was going to win or lose, when Tessa said the only title that he has not had was the Intercontinental Championship, and that would make him a Grand Slam winner. And as soon as I heard that, I go, Cena's going over.
Right. I hate when color commentary does that as well. Real quick, though, guys, Nicole Mobbin says, nothing wrong with tattoos. Manny says, hi. Lauren Foster says hello as well. Thank you guys for joining us. Please subscribe to the podcast if you guys have not done that yet. I have some great guests coming up here in December, including the great Joe Malenko. This is the thing with John Cena. I agree. I don't consider him the greatest of all time, but I will say this. I think that he has had the greatest impact on professional wrestling during his time and era, the PG era, the ruthless aggression era. He carried it. He carried it during a time that it was hard to, for wrestling to be carried during that time because it got cheesy, it got boring. It was the PG era. It kind of came right after the Attitude Era. So I will give him credit for that, but I do agree with what you're saying that I in no way will say that he is the greatest of all time. Ric Flair, I think, was better than him. Stone Cold Steve Austin, in my opinion, was better than he was. Even the freaking Rock, for the love of God, I think was better all around than he was. But go ahead.
I was just going to say, but we as professional wrestler insiders, if you will, understand that the greatest of all time tagline is simply a gimmick. It's simply a narrative. It's not necessarily real. It's not necessarily how Triple H feels. They're printing t-shirts probably that says the GOAT on them and blah, blah, blah. And they're selling them like hotcakes probably. But you know who else said that tattoos weren't a bad thing?
Who's that?
Donald Trump. But he lies every time he opens his mouth. So there you go. Oh!
Guys, I do not necessarily agree with any type of political statement with anybody in this podcast, so please do not.
That wasn't political. I was just talking about a person who opens his mouth and lies come out.
The thing with the greatest of all time professional wrestling, I agree with you to a point. I think it is based upon our perspective as well. But, and Robbie and I actually talked about this, I think last week. Even in professional wrestling, there are statistics and and that shows who's done what in professional wrestling. So even in professional wrestling, you still can say, I know your opinion may be that so-and-so is greatest of all time, but if you look at the numbers, as far as who packed the places out, who had higher ratings during their segments, who's held the belt more, who's added more prestige to the belt, you can state that this person is actually better.
Well, here's your perspective. John Cena is certainly one of the greatest of all times. And when you go by the numbers, most definitely one of the greatest of all times. But if you use the analogy that Al Snow uses, because he's one of the smartest guys ever when it comes to wrestling, analogies, what was the best match at WrestleMania 3?
Oh, that was so long ago. Tell me, remind me. See if I agree with you.
Well, most people would say Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat. But
right.
Al Snow would say Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant because they're the ones that drew the crowd, which is the initial and all important aspect of wrestling. It's not to wrestle in a high school in front of 10 people. It's to wrestle in front of as many people as you can for as much money as you can draw. And thus, that was the best match on the card. That's his analogy. So in that sense, John Cena certainly is one of the greatest of all time.
Right.
We just like to nitpick his execution on things. And I thought last night's match was really good, especially towards the end with all the blah, 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 blah. And it makes sense because the guy, like if Gunther's going to be Cena's last match, then he's going to win the title back. Then they're going to shake hands and hug. And then Cena's going to turn heel and say, it was all a ruse. I'm not really retiring.
Soccer says, I am your biggest fan. Holy shit. I didn't even know we had one fan, but thank you.
Who's that?
Guy by the name of Soccer.
Soccer, man.
This is what I found and I know it's professional wrestling, but I had to shake my head, was towards the end when John Cena picked up Dom and Dom, his feet kicked the ref out the ring and John Cena did his finisher and then went for the count. Or then actually, I think it was the submission that he did. And Dom, kind of tapped out, and John got up and jumped up like what? And I went, "You see the ref?
That was stupid."
What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, Robbie did.
Yes, no, yes, I kind of went there too. I'm thinking, you saw him kick the ref. Why are you? You didn't hear the bell either, so there was no bell. There was, you just saw him tapping. And I guess maybe if you go in the spirit of wrestling or whatever, that I guess he got caught up in the hype, seeing him tap and thought, okay, cool, I'm the maybe that was their thinking of it, but still, in reality, you saw him get, he kicked the ref and, tap out, but there's no ref.
Right. I would have been able to buy it. I would have been able to buy it more. Of John Cena reacting that way, jumping up and down. Maybe, you can't hear the bell that well, the crowd so loud. If we didn't see John Cena looking directly at the ref as he got kicked out of the damn ring. Like, come on. Now, John Cena, he won. He is, great. He's now Grand Slam champion. By the way, if you go according to that, Miz is better because Miz is two-time Grand Slam champion. Ooh. But here's the thing. Bob, you mentioned that you think Gunther's going to win everything to face Cena and Gunther's going to win that title. But my question for you is this. Will it be Gunther, though? Because we know that next week on Raw, there's going to be a surprise. And SmackDown as well, there's going to be a surprise. Right, because both GMs said, don't want to announce who these people are. We'll just wait to make the announcement live. Now, the big rumors are Edge is coming back, and another big rumor is about Chris Jericho. I will go with more of Edge than Chris Jericho as well as surprises. If that's the case, don't you think that that's going to give it away by having Edge come back so soon? Because if it is indeed a big surprise like that, I think they're doing the surprise too soon, because to me, it's going to ruin the whole tournament, because that right there is going to tell you who's going to take it all.
I don't think it's going to be Edge, because what are you going to have, like 2 50-year-olds come back? Edge or Jericho beat Cena in his last match to be the Intercontinental champion. How do you build stars with that?
Well, again, it's rumors right now, but what's being said is both Edge and Jericho want to end their career at WWE. This is why they're coming back. Now, and I told Robbie this last week as well when we was doing SmackDown. I really hope that they're building up all this anticipation about who are these two guys that's going to be in this tournament that they didn't want to announce just yet. They're waiting to the last minute, waiting to their prospective shows. That is not some big disappointment. That's like really.
I know who it is.
Who?
It's Andrade, and it's the great Khali.
I will turn Raw and SmackDown off at that point if that's who it is. I swear to God, I will.
Andrade is going to show up and then leave.
Well, now to your point, I have heard the rumors that Gunther is the one that's supposed to take it. But Bob, you said that you think that Cena's going to drop the title to Gunther, but you also said last Tuesday when we were talking about this that you didn't think Cena would actually lose his final match. So,
well, I didn't think he was going to win the championship either.
Fair enough.
What good does that do? He wins the championship, retires it, then they got to have another one of those ridiculous tournaments.
Right.
Done 100 times.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Unless, what is the chances, Robbie? Here's a question for you. What is the chances that they're going to have a title that's going to merge the AAA title that Dom has with an Intercontinental champion that they're going to retire and
insulting
new belts and merge them?
Insulting. Intercontinental championship's been around for 45 years. You can't do that. Come on, man.
It's WWE, man.
Well, that's true. That one guy wants to totally change what Vince did. Oh, no. The genius from TKO or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Robbie? Yeah, I mean, you could see it happening, I guess. But I have to agree that it's insulting that you would do that. I don't know why you would do that. Doesn't make any sense to do that because you still you have that AAA. Aren't you trying to promote that production, that promotion too?
You would
so
think.
Why, why would you kind of merge those belts? I mean, you have your separate champions. I just think you would try to do a little bit more of showcasing those people, than what you're doing now.
I got an idea.
But are they trying to really promote AAA? Because it seems to me that their plan is to take AAA's most popular stars and bring them over to NXT and then to have them on the main event roster.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the goal. What to do with that? Which again, now you've taken another. Here we go with you going back to the past with WWF to WWE, going and buying promotions or whatever and taking the best talent, and now you're taking away places for people to work.
Right. But then again, I mean, bringing Mr. Iguana, or whatever the fuck his name is, to NXT, Josh, that's nothing against the guy. And I will say this every time. I'm not trashing his in-work. I could never do it. That's for you guys to do. But not a fan of this guy whatsoever. Really? Not at all.
I have to say, I like him. I mean, yeah, it's kind of stupid, some of the stuff he does, but I give him credit. You know who if you look at some of the stuff he does, I guess with the iguana and stuff, and you say he kind of would be WWE's version of Orange Cassidy.
Oh my God! Like they need one of those,
right? But I'm not a fan of that either. Look,
no,
but that stupid Santino Morello with his hand gimmick.
Right. And look, you can blame NWA, Mid-South Wrestling, and Georgia Championship Wrestling for me hating those type of gimmicks because I grew up with wrestling being more serious, right? I didn't grow up watching that crazy shit, and it drives me nuts. I don't mind a little bit of comedy. R-Truth is funny to a degree, but just
he's also disappeared.
No, he was just on.
Was he?
He was on SmackDown.
Oh, by the way, did you notice they cut out John Cena when he said WWF? That's weird.
Yep. That was weird too. But I don't blame WWE for that. I think because of the wildlife, whatever they
Jeez.
are, I think that legally they're not able to talk
That's so
about that.
stupid.
I agree. Next, we go to the backstage celebration. Cena was congratulated by several stars, including Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes, on what felt like a real passing of the torch locker room moment. And I say that sarcastically because how are they passing the torch? I mean, that's the way they're acting. But Cena's on his way out. Next, we have the tag title conversation backstage. I'm sorry. The last time is now a tournament match. Rusev moved forward in the tournament bracket with a win over Damian Priest. No surprise there. Robbie, thoughts on that match?
It had its moments. I don't understand why they're burying Damian Priest. And I think that's what they're doing. I guess go get one, Bob, and then you'll stop bitching about them. So, but
no, I'll bitch about it, but I got one.
There's also a possibility. I've kind of seen a few from other people saying stuff like, look at his eyes. He's starting to get like there's black around it or whatever. And thinking that maybe he's going to merge him with Aleister Black.
It is the same thing. They in a way, they're kind of stealing what AEW did with the whole Black faction.
House of Black?
House of Black faction, where except instead of burning, House of Black would spray something in someone's face, their eye would turn black. Next thing you know, they joined the faction. I agree with you. That's exactly what I thought as well. Bob, what's going on here, man?
Well, I just wanted to mention one other thing in that backstage segment with Cody Rhodes and Cena.
Yeah.
Why it looks silly to me that Cody's standing with his belt on his shoulder like this. It's like, what is he just walk around like that? You're backstage relaxing. You shouldn't even have your belt with you. What are people going to be watching that? Go, hey man, I thought Cody was champion. He don't got it with him. He's not champion anymore. I mean, come on.
It makes him look narcissistic.
Yeah, so stupid. Well, it just looks silly, you know.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good match. It wasn't a bad match, and I don't like either one of them.
Right. I'm not. I was, believe it or not, I was more a fan of Rusev in AEW because I like the gimmick more. It's kind of the same, but I think his promos is what separated it for me. But Rusev didn't do much in AEW, and I don't think he's going to do much in WWE. I think that he's almost already hit that glass ceiling once again, that he's not going to break through, in my opinion.
But you know what Rusev's biggest problem is? That he was a Robbie Idol fan when he was younger, because when he tore his bicep, he didn't get it fixed either.
Bob is on a hate Robbie Idol kick tonight. What's going on, man? Next, we go to the tag team conversation backstage with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. They met with Adam Pearce, stating they want to defend the World Tag Team Championship more often and against the best. Adam Pearce wants a team name. I think Dragon Lee came up with some long name, the Dragon Style or something crazy. The way AJ Styles was acting towards Dragon Lee about the name, and maybe I'm just reading too much in between the lines, but I just have a feeling these two guys would not be tag teams for very long, and we're going to see AJ Styles actually turn on Dragon Lee, and we're going to see a feud between the two, with us having a heel AJ Styles, which I prefer.
Let me mark that down. Other matches I won't want to watch. Oh, there you go.
You don't think that AJ Styles and Dragon Lee would be a good match between them?
No, they probably would. They probably would. I'm just being a smartass. Because I'm a dumbass. I'm trying to be a smartass to have a little bit of smartness in this dumbass. Does that make sense?
Does this segment make you really interested in this tag team, though, is the question?
No, not at all.
Me neither.
AJ Lee. Well, that makes me interested. Bring her into the segment. But AJ Styles isn't very tall. Isn't Dragon Lee even shorter than him? Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, but they're both pretty. Their style complements one another in the ring. That's why I think that they would have a really good match against one another. Robbie, Are you where I'm at? That kind of the passive aggressive attitude of AJ Lee about the name.
He said AJ Lee.
I mean AJ Styles. Damn it, AJ Styles is passive aggressive. Attitude towards Dragon Lee about naming this tag team. Am I just reading in between the lines here too much?
I could see it going either way. You know, you might be reading into the lines a little too much, but I could also see them, like having a feud and stuff like that. I think, like you said, their styles would complement each other.
Right.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking about AJ Lee again, and I was thinking, I bet the only thing on her that doesn't smell good is her husband. Oh, I did it again.
Speaking of, I'm really I was expecting to see more of AJ Lee in WWE when she came back. I thought that there was going to actually do a one-on-one program between her and Becky Lynch, and seems like this was truly just a one-off.
Nah. She's coming in for that Survivor Series match. Who are we kidding?
For what Survivor? War Games?
Yeah.
No, they announced War Games last night with the women. She's not going to be part of it.
They're going to add another one. Aren't the War Games usually 5 people?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, because I was like, isn't there usually like 5 or 6 people in War Games?
It's got to be like more involved than the men. There's only 3 on 3 of the men. That don't make any sense.
Well, right, Norm. That's what I was thinking too. When they announced the 3-on-3 with the men, I went, "This is not War Games."
But they can change that,
Yep. Next segment, CM Punk. He came out. He called out Logan Paul. The Vision and Paul responded, turning into a standoff. Punk wasn't standing alone. Because Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso came up to save his ass. And I'm going to tell you that I just don't give 2 shits. I'm tired of it. It's the same. It's literally the same thing. It really is. This is the Bloodline 2.0 feud, with the exception of, sure, the team, Paul Heyman Vision is different, but it's still
they're going to put Roman in that match. You know that, right? Probably the other Uso.
I'm guessing so. The way they've been doing this commercial every week around the table where they're gambling, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and a couple of other guys, I'm expecting Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns to also come in. Our co-host Michael McCurdy says 5-5 for War Games. We are correct. He also says rumors that Cena and Roman may be joining Punk's team. How can they? Because Cena's last match is in December. Where's War Games?
Next month or later this month.
Is it later this month?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks out. It's 2 weeks.
And then you bring in Brock for the other side and someone else. Right. Be fantastic.
Right. Yeah, that would make sense. I was thinking War Games was after Saturday Night Main Event, Cena's last match for some reason.
See what happens when you start thinking at your age?
I shouldn't be. My wife tells me that all the time. But Robbie, I mean, am I right here? It's the same. I mean, I'm sick of seeing John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk. I really am.
Yes.
What as a tag team? Have they been a tag team before?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, we'll go back and just say whoever's on the creative team is on cruise control.
Not really.
When
you think about it.
Why you say not really?
Well, when you think about it, when it comes to that, who's the biggest star in the business? John Cena, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, 3 of the biggest. Put them all in the same match against the other guys. It makes perfect sense in that regard. Who else are you going to put in that match that actually means anything besides Roman and whoever?
Yeah,
are you going to put Damian Priest in there? Or are you going to put Finn Balor in there? It's not going to mean the same as Cody, and like them or not, if they're getting boring, whatever, they're still the biggest stars in the business.
I get it, and I get what you're saying, and you are right. But this is my problem. They're that way because WWE is not building.
Well, that's true.
Anyone else to be the biggest stars in the business, and I think that's where I agree with Robbie with creative being on cruise control because they're not building anybody else. So
you can't say you in a way that the one guy, and I know Bob's going to disagree, but he's wrong on it. But you're kind of building you're kind of building Dominik Mysterio because he does seem to be getting over and everything. So you have him. I get it that they took the strap off of him and gave it to Cena, so now Cena's a Grand Slam. But the kid is, I was impressed with him in there where he cut his promo and everything. I know we're going backwards here for a minute, but oh well. But there's still there. He is becoming one of their stars. So you are pushing him.
You want me to tell you what Dom is? Have you ever heard of a pan you fry eggs in? Well, you know what he is? He's a flash in the pan, baby. Nothing more, nothing less. Yes, he is.
I disagree with you. I think that 10 years from now, we're going to be seeing Dom as one of the biggest stars in WWE, because the only reason why Dom got booed out of the building last night was because he's in Boston and because it was against John Cena. Because every other match that he's in, people are cheering for Dom.
Yes. Totally agree. You're in his backyard. Everybody's the new wrestling fans, and he's the hometown hero. So yeah, they're gonna boo Dominik out of there. To them, this is the kid that was 35 miles down the street and stuff. So that's their hometown hero.
You ever see the movie Trading? You ever see the movie Trading Places?
Yes.
Let's all bet $1.
I'll bet $1 with you.
I'll bet $1. I think Dom will be a big star. The kid, as much as you don't like him, I think, he's, from what I've seen from when he started to now, he's improved 100%. Right. And his promos are well.
So is Maxine Dupree. I'd rather watch Maxine Dupree in main event of WrestleMania than Dom.
Yeah. What's funny and silly about this bet, Bob, is the fact that you think that we'll be doing this podcast 10 years from now.
Well, I won't even be alive probably 10 days from now, but
don't say that. So
okay, 8 days.
Next, we go to the Women's World Championship. Stephanie Vaquer retained her title against Raquel Rodriguez. And I love what happened afterwards. After the match, Nikki Bella came in to help after Stephanie was attacked. But then, as she was handing Stephanie the belt, she made a statement by smashing her in the head with it. Thank God they turned her heel, because Nikki Bella is so much better as a heel than a baby face.
Well,
I like this only because of them turning Nikki heel. Go ahead, Bob.
If people go back and watch your archives, a certain cooker said that last week. Nikki Bella was going to turn heel.
You did. Yep, you did. Robbie?
I liked it. I was, watching it, and I'm thinking, when are they going to turn? I'm figuring at some point they had to turn Nikki Bella on her. And they did it last night.
Right. So now, what do you guys think about the match against Raquel Rodriguez? I was bored with this match. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not a big Stephanie fan, but I am definitely not a Raquel fan at all. And having both of these together, I was just bored.
Yeah.
I like Stephanie. I think Stephanie's very good, a very good worker and stuff.
I agree. But there's something about her I get invest in.
Right. If you watch Raquel, she just seems kind of boring. The same, a few moves. They act like, okay, she's this big, they're trying to put her in the class of like this big, big force and stuff. But then they turn around and make her at the end or wherever, somewhere along the match, she looks, not that person that they're trying to promote her as. Yeah. There's something about her to me that's kind of boring, to be like you said.
Yeah. Like I said, Stephanie is great in the ring. Her finisher move, the first time we seen her did it, I think it was either a PLE or on a Saturday Night Main Event. She nailed that sucker dead on, and it looked phenomenal. So I'm not taking away her talent whatsoever, right? There's just something about her I just can't invest in for some reason. I don't know what it is about her that just she can't draw me in at all.
Is it her ever expanding butt area, perhaps?
No, I'm not a horn dog as much as you are, Bob. So
I'm just an observationist. I'm an observationist. Huge difference.
Next, we go backstage to the challenge for WarGames. I keep on wanting to say WarGames. For WarGames. Brooke Rhodes and Uso laid down the challenge, and Adam Pearce, of course, the magnificent promo guy he is, completely oversold it and said, "We have WarGames."
Yeah, William Regal said that.
Over the top.
William Regal said
Regal
that.
said that. But what did Adam Pearce said something as well that was just too over the top for me. Yeah, even Regal said it was just kind of over the top. Man,
but that's
Regal,
what he's known for, right? Come on, I go.
He is. You know, he's looking tired. Regal's looking just tired. He really is.
Man, he's a good guy, though. I always liked Steve Regal. He was cool.
Oh, look, he's one of my favorite wrestlers.
You know,
of all
I
time.
had the first match he ever had in America on TV. I was the first guy. I had the first match, and he bought me drinks afterwards. You can't knock a guy like that. Come on now.
Look, I'm about to make a statement that people are going to say that no way that I'm crazy. But technical wrestling wise, I will say all day long that William Regal is much better than Bret Hart. All day long.
It's a different style, though. It's that from the was he from UK or something? It's a different.
Right.
What they used to do rounds and stuff when they did all that.
It is, but Regal's matches was more entertaining as far as, at least for myself, than what Bret Hart was.
Not if Bret was wrestling Shawn Michaels or Steve Austin.
Well, right, but I mean, Shawn Michaels can make a match with a mop be entertaining.
That's true.
You know, I just like William Regal. He just had this intensity about him. I like the style in the ring. You never knew what he was going to. I mean, just the moves that he knows. You never knew what he was going to do. In many ways, he reminded me of Dean Malenko as far as the moves he pulled out. Dean Malenko, you never knew what that man was going to do for his finisher move, for his submission. You just
I did because I did when I wrestled him because you knew ahead of time.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Michael McCurdy says Bret and Regal are two different styles of wrestling. You can't compare the two, but you can.
Didn't
It's
I say?
professional wrestling. It's perspective. I disagree with you.
Let's face it, the greatest wrestler of all time was Mil Mascaris, and I won't take no for an answer.
But, well, I'm not saying Regal is the best of all time. I'm just saying.
Actually, Mil Mascaris was an asshole, so I'll take that back.
You know, all around, I just think Regal was better. That's just myself. But Robbie, do you agree with Michael that because they're two different styles, you can't compare the two?
It's true.
No. I mean, you look at how, they have different styles, but move for move and stuff like that. And the other thing that kind of puts Regal ahead of Hart, Regal doesn't bitch about stuff.
Well, I was going to say he's not bitter.
Yeah, so, I mean, so that there's a case for him. I mean, you're bitter, you're bitch and stuff like that.
Right.
It's not a good look.
No,
I got kicked in the head. I got kicked in the head 25 years ago.
And it does take away how you view their legacy. I mean, we were just talking about this even with Jim Cornette, right? Jim Cornette as a manager will always be one of the managers on my Mount Rushmore. But constantly listening to him and just the hate, it does lessen how I feel about him. It's the same
He'll always be not Bobby Heenan.
Right. No, but see, Bobby Heenan is one of them as well for me.
I love Captain Lou Albano. Captain Lou Albano was one of the most entertaining human beings on any form of entertainment to ever walk the earth.
Yep.
Not as entertaining as Rob Yida when he's trying to find his friend house, but
right. Josh Lee, my little brother from back home. He's actually he goes by Preston Vance. Back home, he's a manager. He's gotten into the ring as well. He says Mill was indeed an asshole, and Regal would be over as fuck today. I agree. Regal's still over today. Actually, I mean he is.
WarGames. I like that they're keeping Ozzy's legacy alive and going to use that that song every year they use. What is it called? I don't know what it's called.
What song? By who?
Ozzy Osbourne for the WarGames or the Survivor Series. They always use that as
oh shit,
perfect for that.
Iron Man.
No, it's not Iron Man. War Pig, right?
War Pig.
It's fantastic.
War Pig.
Yep, I agree. Next, we go to the Becky Lynch attack, Women's Intercontinental Champion. Damn, I can't talk tonight. Becky Lynch blindsided Maxine Dupree backstage, sending a very clear message about the division. For some reason, I skipped over the backstage segment between Maxine Dupree and Adam Pearce.
That's where it happened.
Right, but I skipped over for some reason her conversation with Adam Pearce.
Oh, okay.
Is what I'm saying. The only thing that I liked about this, because I'm so sick of Becky Lynch, is if they follow Wrestling 101, because Becky Lynch got the best of Maxine Dupree, that means that Maxine Dupree is going to become the new Intercontinental Champion next week on Raw. And I hope that's the case, because honestly, I wasn't always a Maxine Dupree fan. But let me tell you, the past few times I've seen her in the ring, her improvement, or at least maybe it was that they didn't have her wrestling to her full potential for a reason, right? But I can tell you the Maxine Dupree that I see in the ring now, she has won me over as a fan. Bob, what do you think? You think we're going to see a new champ?
I hope so, but I thought Becky Lynch's punch looked really good last night.
It did. I will give her that. Maxine Dupree looked like she got her head knocked off. I will give her that. Robbie?
Yeah, I hope they take the strap off of her, just so we don't have to hear those Becky Lynch promos anymore. You know, I'm tired of hearing I'm the best, and I'm not the only one that says it. You know, you got to come up with something new after a while. Come on, you know?
Yeah, but you got to realize if they take the strap off her, that just means they're going to put her back in the world title spot. So you're still going to hear the promos, just not in reference to the Intercontinental title.
Right.
Right. So, and the other thing I found out this week, which shocked me, was LA Knight and Maxine are brother and sister. So that was kind of a shocking heads up.
Really? For real?
For real.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Let me check that out real quick.
Did you read that in a meme?
You, but...
No, I saw it on social media.
Here, ask Donald Trump. He'll tell you.
I don't believe everything on social media. Have you not seen the shit?
Well, no, I don't either. But she was. It was in like a kind of a interview.
Oh.
Right.
And I don't remember who was interviewing her. That I saw it on social media, but.
So what you're saying is they start an OnlyFans page together, it'll be a little awkward.
No, Mr. Idol, LA Knight and Maxine Dupree are not related in real life. Their sibling relationship was a storyline in WWE. In the storyline, LA Knight was introduced as the manager of Maxine Dupree. Because remember when they had him originally as that horrible model gimmick that he was doing?
Yeah.
Terrible. Yep, he was
the
manager for Maxine Dupree for the Maximum Male Model stable. Maxine Dupree was later introduced as his sister.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, then when they start the OnlyFans page now, it won't be so awkward.
Now, something, and I don't know where this falls in the show, but I realized I skipped over this as well. So I'm going to talk about it now. Was another backstage segment where Adam Pearce was pulling out the little balls for the
That sounded
tournament.
weird.
He was pulling his little balls out where he had the tournament contenders for next week. That's where we found out Gunther was coming back. He's going to be facing, and forgive me, guys, Josh, please tell me the name, Josh Lee, my buddy who was watching. Gunther's coming back. He's going to face someone from NXT. The name escapes me. Apologize. And then also we're going to see Uso from the My Family Tree Solo.
Ooh.
Who he's facing, that's going to be the surprise next week.
boy.
That's why I'm hoping it's not going to be some crazy,
It's gonna be it's gonna be Roman, and it's gonna be Roman and Cena in his last match. It'll be a good match too.
I don't want to see that. I just don't. I want to see something. Look, I want to go back to what you talked about with Edge, right? And I'm not saying necessarily Edge, but I would really like to see someone, even if they're of age. I get what you're saying, Bob, but I would like to see Cena's last match with one of the guys that was considered one of his biggest.
Randy Orton?
That would be awesome. You know, someone that he had major, storylines with, his biggest storylines. I think that would make more sense. And I would love it to be Randy Orton. I would love to see Randy Orton walk out as the IC winner.
But that's what you got to think of too. This is his last match. His last match should be against somebody who people are going to go, hey, I really want to see that. And I'm sure Gunther has a lot of fans, but does he have as many fans as an Edge could bring in? Or a Randy Orton, or a Roman Reigns to be on Saturday night's main event for the whole world to see? You want to draw a rating, you want to draw a crowd, you want to draw interest. You're not going to do it with Gunther. I'm sorry.
Right. And I'll be honest with you. Now that they've made John Cena the IC champ, Grand Slam champion, I honestly think that they did the AJ Styles and John Cena match too early, because AJ has been chasing the IC title with Dom, right? And because of just one of the match that could easily be a contendership for match of the year that him and AJ, that John and AJ Styles had, I think that AJ Styles going for the IC title once again against John Cena as John Cena's last opponent, I think that would have been amazing. Then you would finally have AJ Styles getting the IC title, because AJ has less than a year as well. He's going to be starting his retired career.
I got an idea. What was one of John Cena's greatest matches of all time? Shawn Michaels. Come on, Shawn. You got a few weeks. Get in shape. Get out there and do it.
Yep. Now I tell you,
WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels against John Cena at WrestleMania that year. Holy balls to the wall.
This could sound harsh, and I don't mean it as harsh as it sounds. The only good thing about Triple H having this condition where he cannot wrestle anymore is the fact that I fear that if Triple H was still able to wrestle, that we'd have a Triple H John Cena match for his last match, and that's not a match I'd want to see either. And I like Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H is one of the best of all time, though. Come on.
He is, but that's just not a match I want to see. I just don't. And I'm a huge Triple H. He's one of my favorites. He really is. Just not a match I want to see. Robbie, what do you think of when I was talking about with the AJ Styles thing? Do you think that match was done too early, considering what they're doing with putting the IC on John Cena, considering that we had this long-term storyline between AJ Styles and Dominik Mysterio?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it wouldn't, and as the match that they had, it was a great match. So you could have had that for your finale, and that would have, been well. And you all of a sudden now AJ gets the strap, and
what's that guy saying? Looks like he wrote a book.
They probably did it too soon.
Right. Again, my little brother Josh Lee says, I'm expecting Edge and Cena's last. Orton and Cena already had their last run together. Roman just needs to... You're going to start an argument here. Roman just needs to hang it up. He's walking nepotism. Brock would also be a good last opponent, considering Brock wiped his own ass with Cena recently. I agree with the last part about Cena and Brock, considering that I'm surprised they left it like that way, that it was basically a squash match, and it's going to be left the last time these two faced each other. You know, Brock basically beat the shit out of John Cena. Bob, what do you think about that statement, especially about Roman? Just these two hanging up.
Not to alienate people, but that's one of the most ignorant statements in the history of mankind, and mankind's been around for quite a few years at least. Roman Reigns is one of the biggest stars in the business, if not legitimately the biggest star at this current time. He's still one of the top merchandise sellers. He's not even around half the time, and the guy's great. He gets the biggest pop that anybody gets when he comes back. That is a ridiculous, overbearing, obnoxious statement that I would never want to hear again. Erase that. Get that off the screen. Get it off the screen, or I'll break my phone. I don't want to buy a new phone. Get it off the screen.
Josh, I love you, brother, but we have our opinions, man. What about you, Robbie? What do you think about that?
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, again, wrestling. Everybody has their own opinions. There's guys you like, guys you don't like. You know, so I mean, he's entitled to his opinion, but you know, Roman is one of the big stars. You know, he's one of their big stars and stuff like that. So you know, you get it. But there's you know, if you look at stuff, if you look on social media at times where people will say, hey, who's the most overrated guy, most this, that, and you know, just for the heck of it, you look at a few comments, and some of the comments that come up, you know, you're just like, you kind of laugh at them, you know, from seeing the fans' perspective. You know, it's funny, but I mean, like, again, everybody has their own opinion.
Right. You know, and Josh, again, you know, very close friend of mine, consider him a little brother, and him and I agree a lot when it comes to pro wrestling opinions. But the thing I do disagree with him is the whole he's walking nepotism, and I tell you why. I think when you are able to have your second and third, fourth generations in professional wrestling, I like that, because you know, you talk about the legends and the bloodlines, and the heritage within professional wrestling. So, you know, that just, it doesn't bother me. And I really don't think Roman Reigns became who he is today because of nepotism. Because look, Roman Reigns, man, he busted his ass to get where he's at today. And I don't think that can be denied. I mean, the guy was getting booed out of the building on a regular basis when he was supposed to be a babyface. And like John Cena, he didn't let it get to him. He kept on putting his head down, busting his ass, and he leaned into it. And because of him leaning into it, it made him what he is now. And people can argue, well, that's because of creative, whatnot. But look, creative can say you're going to do this all you want. If you're not talented and if you're not smart enough to know how to lean into it as a professional wrestler, it can be the greatest thing on paper. It's going to fail. So,
okay, so I'm gonna throw an opinion in here on this, and some of the guys will go, "You're an asshole." You want to talk about walking nepotism? Okay, the dude's a good athlete, from what I hear from all this stuff about him. But you want to talk about walking nepotism, and the dude is totally reckless in the ring. And I'm glad I never had to work with him or anything. My personal opinion of walking nepotism is Brock Lesnar.
What?
Is Brock. Robbie, and I've never been a big fan of Brock. Watching him work, the dude is reckless.
But I thought nepotism was given a push to like a relative or something.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Well, Robbie,
is it? Okay.
I thought Robbie was going to say my son. Oh, that was going to be a rough one.
No, but Robbie, this is why I disagree with you. Besides the Randy Orton issue, right? All the years, Brock Lesnar's been
what Randy Orton issue?
Whenever he busted him open the hard way.
Yeah, but they agreed to do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Besides that, and I didn't know the full story. But my point is, though, besides hearing about that, all the years Brock Lesnar has been in the ring, I've never heard of him hurting anybody.
Really?
Wow.
He just, I mean, okay. I mean, he just looks reckless when you watch him. I mean, not working with him, it's hard to say.
Yeah, I have because I'm a fan of Brock Lesnar, and I've never heard of Brock Lesnar hurting anybody in the ring. Sure, there's been disagreements. I know him and Jericho. I think it was him and Jericho, or was it Goldberg and Jericho that got into it backstage?
No, it was Lesnar and Jericho.
Right. So, but hey, that shit happens, right? You two competitors, and to this day, Jericho says that he has a lot of respect for Brock Lesnar, right? But yeah, that and I've heard you mention that before, and I actually, the first time you mentioned that, and I'm glad you brought that up, I went and did some research, and there's not been anybody that Brock Lesnar has seriously hurt in the ring. Josh Lee says that I'm just stirring shit. That's what I figured. Roman indeed is one of the biggest stars to ever be in the business, but his schedule or lack thereof has been nipple friendly. I will argue against that. I will argue against that though, Josh, and I'll tell you why. John Cena had gotten to have that schedule. These guys earned the right to have the schedule. And I'll be honest with you, I like when guys reach that level and they do have that light schedule, because once a guy hits that certain status in professional wrestling where they are the biggest stars, at that point, I think that they should be only special attractions for PLEs and things like that. Because go to any sport, any physical contact sport like boxing or MMA, right? You didn't see Muhammad Ali boxing on a regular basis in any of these, these boxing programs they had every weekend, because he was the greatest. He was a special attraction. So I have no problem with these schedules becoming the way they are for these guys. I think they've earned it, and I think it does more for the business and putting in ass and seats, ratings, and making money overall when you make these guys special attractions, kind of like Andre the Giant. Robbie, start with you. What do you think about that aspect of what I just said?
Totally agree. You get to a point that you're at that status. So because people, now you're going to bring more people to the arena because they're on a limited schedule. So now they're not seeing them as much. So now if you have a chance to see them, you're definitely going to go see them, because you're going, okay, I don't know when they're coming back. So yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, once you earn that, you've earned it.
Right, Bob?
Well, let's go back to that nepotism statement. Isn't nepotism like if you're pushing somebody, like say your son's getting a push, whatever, and ultimately he never really accomplishes what you think he should, but he's still getting that push? That's different. But I mean, look at Charlotte Flair. Probably had a little bit of nepotism involved in her push, but she went on to become one of the best ever. And the same with the Armstrongs, the Von Erichs. All those people were based on nepotism to some degree, and they went on to become some of the biggest stars of all time and some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Same with like Brock Lesnar. Even though nepotism was involved, but he's one of the biggest stars of all time. I mean, you go, you ask most people who don't even know about wrestling, they've heard of Brock Lesnar, right?
Right.
But then you need, when you think about Roman Reigns, you see that famous picture of Hulk Hogan holding Roman Reigns in his arms when he was like 3 years old, and with his dad standing there, one of the Samoans. I don't know which one's his father, but that's an amazing picture to see that. And then Roman went on to become this awesome, amazing, over the top star. I don't know where I'm going with this, but that's the point. Nepotism has its place in wrestling, always had. And like the Funks probably had a little bit, the Harts had nepotism, but Brett went on to become one of the best ever, and blah, 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 blah. So there you go.
Well,
right.
David Flair is an example of nepotism gone wrong. Okay.
Right.
Well, and you could say the Rhodes. So, you throw Cody and Dustin in there.
Yeah, but look where they went. They're two of the biggest ever. Right.
And look, I actually, I agree with that, because I think nepotism becomes more of a negative thing, as you were saying, Bob. If you have a guy that he's just garbage, he's shit, but yet they still push them because of who their family member is, that's where nepotism really becomes an issue. But, it's not someone's fault who their family or their bloodline is. And when you have that person that is just this phenomenal wrestler, they shouldn't be punished or be accused of nepotism. I agree with that. Dread Tyler, thank you for watching the show.
Oh, I know that guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he says, yes, Dr. Red Tyler has returned. You are blessed with my presence. Trust me. Hello, gentlemen. Let's going on, my friend?
He comes to our Legends lunches because always asking me for autographs. I keep, hey, come on, kid, get away from me. Get away from me. No selfies, no autographs. Buy me a drink, you're fine. But he don't do that. He just asks for autographs. It's crazy.
He's good shit, man. Josh again says nepotism has had multiple alleged meanings within. Let me pull his record. Actually, read it. Within the business, however, comparing Roman's almost 4-year title run compared to Hogan's is just laughable. Hogan defended that belt more in a week than Roman did in those few years. He had it great.
Okay.
But this is the thing.
Let me say that. Go ahead.
Let me finish this real quick. The business, Josh, I love you again, brother, but you're wrong because the business is so different today. It's so different. And you cannot put yesterday's standards and try to apply them to today. To me, it's just, you shouldn't do that. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, I was going to say one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, whether you like it or not, was Hulk Hogan. In his later years, the man had multiple hip replacements, knee surgeries, back surgeries, and basically died because of that eventually, because of how it got botched and things went down the road. He suffered greatly the last many years of his life, greatly, for all those bumps and bruises and all those times he took the leg drop thousands of times over the years. If he wasn't able to, or didn't have to do that, wasn't probably forced to do that to make earn the money he made, he would have been able to have a little more quality of life later in life. So to demonize Roman Reigns because he's got one of the best deals in the business that any wrestler with half a brain would kill for. They would literally take a homeless guy and go, come here, I get this deal. I got to kill you, but I get this deal. Okay, you're dead. He'd kill for that deal. Because maybe when Roman Reigns turns 50 years old, he'll be able to get on his knees and play with his grandkids. I can't even fucking walk. Okay? I can't even hardly fucking walk because of my years in wrestling. I was a goddamn nobody. But Roman Reigns, one of the biggest stars, you're going to bitch and moan that he gets a few days off so he don't have to bust his ass every goddamn week. And that pisses me off with that attitude. I'm shooting here. It pisses me off. Bullshit.
Now, I will say
you fans that think you deserve something more than you already got. Jesus, that pisses. That's it. I'm going home. Oh, wait, I'm already home. Shit.
I will say this. Number one, Bob, you were not a nobody. You were somebody. And I know Josh very well. And I'd be willing to put money that Josh is just trying to create conversation. He can be a goof that way. Both Josh and Dr. Tyler Sika lived in Pensacola. He asked me to come up there and work a show. I never did it. Now I regret that. Rest in peace. You know what else you might regret, sir, is I've actually come on the show a couple of times. Please come on this show. Don't regret it. My show's going to be the greatest podcast in the world one day. You can be part
By the way, if you hear the cops coming, that's because my neighbors got mad at my outburst. I live in kind of a retirement community.
Yeah. Again, as I mentioned at the end of my last comment, I think the business is far different now. I think we all get that. Yes, let's get back to Raw, where we're at. Oh, yep. So next we go to the last time. There's now a tournament match. Sheamus defeated Shinsuke Nakamura in a physical contest. The two showed mutual respect afterwards. I'm not a Sheamus fan. He's someone else that he bores me. I like Sheamus way back when he first got here, when they booked him as that monster, the guy that John Cena just couldn't beat. He actually beat Cena for the title pretty early in his career, in Sheamus' career. Bob, what you think about this match?
I'm going to be totally honest with you because unlike Donald Trump, I don't tell lies. I fast forwarded through it. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Robbie.
I watched it. I watched it just to see. I like Sheamus. Not a big Sheamus fan, but I like him. Definitely not a Nakamura fan. I mean, you've brought him back how many times, and nobody cares. And I mean, you feel bad for the guy because he was big in Japan and stuff, but they just can't get him over here. No matter what they do, change his name, change his look, whatever. It was just one of those matches. You're like, okay, let's get it over with.
Robbie, I think it's one of those things that look, and I call it WWE-nizing. I think there's some talent that goes to WWE and they get WWE-nized, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to their career. They become big stars. But I also think at times it works in reverse. And I think with Shinsuke, it worked in reverse. I think they made him a goof. And he's almost like being typecast. He's not ever been able to overcome that, in my opinion. Bob, do you agree with that or not?
I think, in his opinion, he's had a job for many years and probably made a damn good living, better than he would have if he would have stayed in Japan, and is probably tickled pink with his current situation. I could be wrong, but that's me.
Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of pink, I like to tickle pink. I love that actor, that woman. She's great. Maybe I'll watch her in concert later.
Tyler said Bob Cook is a legend. Don't allow anyone to tell him allow him to tell you anything different. I agree. I was a big
All
fan
right,
of his.
Red, you're allowed to come to the Legends lunch. You don't got to catch up. By the way, the Legends lunch is being canceled until January, so I didn't bring that up until now.
Well, he says I'm gonna make it there. Josh says, Cav, Cardi's okay, but we all know that Preston Bentley is the greatest manager of all time. Yeah, I would have. You know what?
Who?
My buddy Josh Lee. Like I said, he's a manager on the indie scene.
Oh.
But I cannot get him to come on the podcast to save my life. So you know what, dude? I'm sure you'd be reading your shit because of that. Red has said they are mid-card in 2025. Next, main event, the Women's Tag Team Championship. The Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, captured the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, defeating Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. The finish was chaotic with interference from Nia Jax and Lash Legend, and this didn't make sense to me. I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe it's just simple-minded thinking because I'm just a fan, but this is why it didn't make sense to me. The purpose of coming together as the tag team isn't always to gain those titles, right? So you already had a feud going on with Charlotte and with Alexa Bliss. Why would you want to cost them those titles? Yeah, I get it. They're heels. Why would you want to cost them the titles when you're already on the path of facing them for those titles? It didn't make sense to me at all whatsoever. I honestly think that the only reason they put Jax and Legend together was so that they create the women's WarGames. That's just my opinion. Robbie, what did you think about the main event match? What did you think about the interference? I know that you're really not a big fan of Jax and Legend, but let's talk about that anyway.
I won't go where I was going to go with it on Lash. Okay, so I was going to make a comment, but I will.
Was
say,
it going to be racist? we don't accept racism.
No. Okay. No. It wasn't racist. It wasn't racist. I'm going to say this though. She must have had older brothers because the punches she threw looked devastating. I will give her that. But my other comment was going to be. She either had brothers and taught her how to punch, or that's a man throwing a punch.
We went there.
We went there. The interference, if they're setting up war games, that's the only common sense you could come up with it, because it wouldn't make sense. That, like you said, if they're teaming up, they're got to be close to being in line for a title shot, and that they didn't have an issue with Asuka and Kairi afterwards. So it had to be set it up for, war games. What was funny is I was talking to a buddy of mine who was asking me, what do you got going? And I said, Jay, I got to watch some of SmackDown. I got to watch the rest of it. And he was like, oh, you don't have to watch the last match. I can't believe they gave the titles to Asuka and Kairi. And I'm thinking, really? You went there and told me this? And I'm thinking, damn, but I watched it anyways because I'm curious to see who took the pinfall and stuff. And I'm glad I watched it because now you saw the interference and everything. Because at least he didn't go into details of how they did it.
Right. And by the way, you meant Monday Night Raw, not SmackDown. But this is the thing. So after that, Jackson Legend kept attacking after the bell until Io Sky and Rhea Ripley hit the ring to even the odds. Now, first it was Io Sky, and let me tell you, when Io Sky got in that rope, and I think that she went to do the drop kick against Nia Jax, just the size difference. I was like, come on. That's when, of course, Io Sky was getting her ass kicked then, and then Rhea Ripley hit the ring to even the odds. A full-on brawl broke out, ending with Ripley confirming there will be a women's War Games match. But again, I have to ask, what was the point of taking the titles off of Flair and Alexa Bliss when they are as hot as they are, just to set up this War Games match? I just thought that this was, in my opinion, as a fan, terrible booking. Bob, agree, disagree? And what do you think about this War Games match between these ladies that they're setting up?
I'm not really that excited about the match. The match itself last night was nowhere near as good as that match that Alexa and Charlotte had with whoever they had it with, 2-3 weeks ago, was like a great main event. But
Right.
I think they're ultimately setting up where Charlotte can kind of be free on her own again and face Jade Cargill.
Yep, maybe. Red said that it would be also probably helping bring in Nia Jax to back up stuff. He also went on to say that he's always been impressed by Asuka. Look, I like Asuka, and this isn't anything about Asuka against Asuka or Kairi Sane. I think they're a fine tag team together. I think they look good together. But I just think it was just too early, in my opinion, to take the titles off of Flair and Alexa Bliss just to set up War Games. I think that maybe after War Games would have been a better time to do that. But again, that's just my opinion. Wrestling is obviously not booked around KG Landry.
Right. But you could have still set up War Games with that by having the interference with Lash and Nia, and then attacking and then sending everybody else out, sending, Io and Rhea. So you could have set it up without taking the straps off of them. You just would have had Nia and Lash interfere.
Right. And Red made a comment, and I agree with him. Why does Charlotte Flair need a belt? She's a main eventer in any arena in the world. And I agree with you, right? The thing is, though, that they did put the belt on her with Alexa Bliss, and those two turned up to look. I didn't like them together at first. They turned out to be great. They've won me over. They won the fans over. And I think that because they were so hot, it was too early to take the belts off. And again, that's just my opinion. If I was any type of a booker, I wouldn't be doing a little podcast. I'd be working for WWE or AEW, right? That's just one's opinion. Bob, and go Bob, and then again with Robbie. I mean, do you think it was too soon to take the belts off, or do you think it just doesn't matter?
I don't know anymore. I don't have any of the answers. I have no idea what I'm talking about half the time, but I almost think putting them together initially was to try to get people to get behind Charlotte Flair, because I believe she was truly hurt by the way the fans acted for her initial return after busting her ass to come back after that devastating injury, and the fans just went, we don't care, So I don't know if this will make the fans turn on her or what they'll do, because, the fans ultimately are, let's not go there, but, fans are fans. And
I just actually, Robbie and I were just talking about this last week. So initially, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss was meant to be put together for a very short time. Charlotte Flair asked to keep them together longer. That's why they put the belt on them. But to your point, right, Charlotte Flair was taking it personal, the way the fans were treating her. And you can even tell by Charlotte Flair's some will say she was in great shape, and to a degree she was, but she almost looked sickly when she first came back. She was so thin. And since they put her with Alexa Bliss, since the fans gotten back behind her, and I do, again, think she's taking it personal, I think she looks better now than what she did when she first came back, both in the ring and physically, in my opinion. Go to you, Robbie, with the same question, and I know you kind of answered already. But does it matter that they took the belts off of them, or do you think that it was too soon?
think it was too soon. I think we, depending on where they're going to go with this storyline after WarGames, if they have Charlotte turn on Alexa, you know the fans are going to turn on Charlotte. You know, so I mean, you know, hopefully, and plus you're talking about the way, if like last night, because they kept the cameras on them longer as they were coming down the ramp. You saw Charlotte really interact with the fans, maybe not like the older guys, but with the kids and stuff like that. You made sure she went out of her way to, you know, smack hands with the kids and stuff like that. So, you know, like as a kid, this is great. Oh, wow. I got to smack hands with Charlotte Flair, and, you know, where she just looked, and she looks like she was actually enjoying and interacting with the fans. So you kind of think, you know, why would you do that right now? And I think that they're over, and you'd think they'd keep them together for a while, you know, right. You know, stuff like that. Who knows where they're going? I mean, as much as I hate to agree with Bob, you know, there's a possibility the way they, you know, the Charlotte Flair passing Jade Cargill, would they go that route?
That's exactly, Robbie, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. This is my ultimate fear. Now that they've taken the belts off of Charlotte and Alexa, because the interaction last week, or it might have been on SmackDown, between Flair and Jade, as Flair came out for her match against Nia Jax, as Jade was going back, that interaction, it made me feel like that they're going to once again have Charlotte Flair go for the world championship, the women's world championship against Jade. And I think that's going to be a nightmare, because although Jade is supposed to now be the heel, I think that the fans will ultimately turn on Charlotte Flair, because I don't think they mind seeing her with a tag team belt, but they do not, for whatever reason, want to see her with that title again. Bob, do you agree or disagree? And then after that, you, Robbie.
Okay.
I mean, I might be nuts, but I think Charlotte against Jade is a marquee match. And I think someone like Jade, if she has any respect for wrestling history, even though Charlotte's history isn't that long, 10, 12 years, it's an honor for Jade to work with Charlotte. And if she gets to work with her several times, she's going to learn, she's going to improve, she's going to get something out of every match to get her career more positive as Charlotte winds hers down. I don't see it as a bad thing unless they just go ahead and put the strap on Charlotte right off the bat, which I don't think they're going to do. Just use it as a marquee match. And no one says that they broke up Charlotte and Alexa, so they lost the belts. They regroup, have a rematch, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I love Seinfeld. There you go.
No, and I agree with you. I'm not saying that they're breaking them up. I'm just going according to Charlotte and Jade's interaction on SmackDown. And
well, let me say this.
Go ahead.
If they do break them up, I got two shoulders for them to cry on. Oh!
Look, I agree with you. I think a match with Jade against Charlotte Flair would only elevate Jade, right? So I'm not talking about if this match is going to be good or not. I'm talking about the fans turning on her for whatever reason. Red said that he thinks that it's more important to put he thinks that Charlotte Flair was getting real heat in the locker room. Charlotte seems to get what she wants because of who she is. He also said, I think that it's more important to put a belt on Alexa Bliss than Charlotte, makes her look stronger. And then he says Charlotte versus Jade will go to pay-per-view. I agree. Robbie, your thoughts on everything that I said, if you remember.
Yes, I think I remember some of it. My personal opinion, I don't know that Jay can hang with Charlotte. I don't think she's in that league right now. So I think we talked about it on the show last week. I think they should have just kept the strap on Tiffany till the end of the year. I don't think Jade's ready to hang with some of the big stars. Hopefully she does, and they have good matches. And if you're going to put the strap back on Charlotte, at least wait a little bit. Let them at least build the hype up to it. So we're going to find out if Jade's able to run with the ball.
Yeah. Now, even if Jade couldn't hang with Charlotte. I think Charlotte is such a great performer that she would make Jade look like $1 million. And that's why I said that match would elevate Jade because of Charlotte Flair. Bob?
I don't think, now I could be completely wrong because I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. One of them is the fact I'm sitting here, but, and I don't mean on your show, I just mean in general, in the general vicinity of where I live. But Robbie knows what I mean. But
I know what you mean.
demons from hell is what I mean. But what I'm saying is, I don't think they would have Charlotte against Jade, which would be, I believe, a marquee match if done correctly. And also how they get Charlotte to act in the exchanges they would have would help how the fan, like if they, I don't know, if they give her some kind of attitude or something, the people are going to be negative. But the point I'm trying to make here, if I can make it, is I don't think they would have that match cold. They wouldn't just go out there and have it. I think because they have so much more free time than they did years ago, back when everybody was working, 365 days a year, and now they can't walk that everybody wishes they could continue to do. The assholes out there that don't know what it's like to be a wrestler, but they would have a lot of time to practice the match, go over it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it'd be a bad match.
Yep. Red says that he thinks that Alexa Bliss will ultimately go to the Wyatt 6 down the road. I hope not. And
clown and you're gonna put her with a clown and pony show? Come on, Red. He's not allowed to the Legends lunch again. By the way, it's the end of January. You're not allowed.
Yeah, as much as I love Bray Wyatt, and I did, I think, in my opinion, putting Alexa with him hurt Alexa because it made her look silly. It made her look like a goof, in my opinion. So I hope that they don't do that with the Wyatt 6. I think that they have exactly who they need to have in this group and leave it be. Let Alexa be who she is now. And Red says, LOL, Bob Cook.
I will say this.
Oh. Go ahead, Bob. No, go ahead, Bob.
And not just because he's no longer here, but I honestly believe, and I believed it when it happened, that Bray Wyatt, when he first came in as the cult leader type character, was one of the best characters because of him and the way he projected himself and the way he carried his vignettes and his interviews. Was one of the best characters since The Undertaker. That's just my opinion. Now, the Wyatt 6, who cares about them? But I'm talking about Bray Wyatt himself. Man, when he died, it was like a huge, because he just came back and, crazy.
No, I completely agree with that. I think that
I got a Bray Wyatt action figure around here. Okay, I got a Bray Wyatt. I just got carried away.
I think that Bray Wyatt he had a brilliant mind.
You know something?
Because a lot of his stuff was his own ideas. Go ahead, Bob.
Years ago, Robbie Idol traded a Sega Genesis. I traded my Sega Genesis for all his wrestling action figures. Remember that, Robbie?
No, I
just thought I'd bring that up. You don't remember that? You had all the AWA figures with the ring and the cage, and I traded them for my Genesis. Never mind.
Robbie,
we made an exchange like a drug deal on front of your house in Venice.
Yeah, you didn't talk about that story yesterday in the podcast.
You don't remember it.
Because I don't remember it.
Robbie, do you agree? Do you think that even as great as Bray Wyatt is, and I agree with everything Bob says, again, Bray Wyatt was one of the geniuses of professional wrestling. A lot of those stories was his own idea. I think they got watered down because of WWE. But do you, even saying that, do you think having Alexa Bliss with Bray Wyatt kind of hurt herself, helping her, and putting her, if they do put her with the Wyatt 6, I think that it would hurt her even more. What are your thoughts?
I liked her with Bray Wyatt because I liked how her character kind of changed and everything. I liked it. I liked her with Bray Wyatt. I thought it was kind of cool. Like, she'd be like this normal person for, like this 1 second and then completely flip demonic on the second. To me, I thought it was cool. I think if you put her with the Wyatt 6, she'd have to, if you do that, I mean, I personally think that it will hurt her. The only way I think it would go over, and it's not going to happen, is her being the leader of the Wyatt 6.
Right.
I think
it's hard to say. It'd be hard to say even making her the leader if it would go over.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But
Go ahead, Bob.
I thought it was good with her and Bray. I liked it. I liked a lot of those segments.
Well, and that's what's great about professional wrestling because, again, you know, there's something for everybody. That's right. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, it was kind of like Kevin Sullivan when he took control of Luna back in the day. But the Bray Wyatt, I don't mention Bray Wyatt. He also had one of the best entrance music and entrances of all time. When it comes to crowd reaction, and that's crazy. I go back and watch that stuff once in a while. It's good stuff.
You see, and Kevin Sullivan, in my opinion, was very much like Bray Wyatt in the fact of just a great mind in professional wrestling. Last comment before we wrap it up. Red says Tatum Paxley in NXT is now running around with a rag doll as well.
Who?
Tatum Paxley.
Tatum Paxley.
Jesus. Oh my God.
From NXT.
Yep, from NXT.
I don't watch it. I don't watch NXT.
No?
Now I'm glad.
Oh.
I look at the thumbnails on YouTube. I look at the thumbnails on YouTube and I go, oh, Sol Ruka. I'll watch that. That's it. That's it.
Real quick, if you were grading Raw, I'd give it a B last night. Bob?
C-.
C by ooh, that's harsh. Yeah, Robbie.
It's all because of Sheamus.
It had some good points.
Good, Robbie.
I'd give it a B minus.
Okay. Well, guys,
give it a B minus.
That wraps up our recap of Monday Night Raw. Tomorrow night, Herb Simmons will be on at 6 p.m. Central. We will be talking about the Cauliflower Alley Club's 59th reunion in Vegas. And then on Thursday, we'll be doing a recap. Me and Michael and hopefully Robbie will be with us as well. And the cook
I will be there. I will be there Thursday.
You know why I really gave it a C?
Why?
I gave it a C in honor of my wonderful, almost 38-year friendship with Penelope Paradise. And she knows what I'm talking about. She knows my favorite word. Starts with a C. That's why I gave it a C. I love you, Penelope.
Red also says he gave it a B as well. But everything that I thought was going to happen, it did on Raw last night. Again, Thursday, we'll be doing a recap of AEW. And I'm actually looking forward to AEW tomorrow because of Blood and Guts. But I'm telling you right now, my prediction is it's going to either be a great show or a terrible show. There will be no in between. It's going to be really good or really bad.
I think there'll be some good, some bad. It's what every wrestling show has.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping.
I'm just nervous about the Blood and Gut match. I am.
Oh, there's a. Okay,
I'm hoping.
I know what you're saying.
I'm hoping out of the women kill it. I'm hoping that the women kill it.
That's my prediction, that it's the women is going to be the ones to take away the show. The reason why, and I'll say this before we go ahead and end the show, the reason why Blood and Guts makes me nervous is because we've seen AEW, not the wrestlers, but the effects, the side effects, or whatever you want to call it, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the exploding ring was a big failure,
Special effects.
Because of production, I'm just nervous that something is going to go wrong in Blood and Guts, and they're going to make it look silly as hell. That's my concern. But I agree with Robbie that I think it's going to be the women that steals the show tomorrow night. So
Megan Bain. Put her in Last Legend spot, and we got a party.
At first I was predicting that it would be Toni Storm and Mira, that whatever her partner's name is, that they was going to take and win the women's tag team championship. But man, I just think that Megan Bain and Sharir, they pronounce the name.
Maria. Yeah. Maria.
I like her abs.
They look great together. They just look like this unstoppable team that will just whip everybody's ass, including most of the men there.
Right.
I volunteer.
Here's my prediction. My prediction on this, who may be the surprise team of it, Willow and Harley Cameron.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
isn't one of them fat? Disqualification.
I was shocked that they won the match they did last week. That Harley Cameron did.
They may be the surprise team of it, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him walk away with the belts.
We'll see. Harley Cameron, they've just made such a joke out of her that it's hard. Like, I had a hard time watching that match, seeing her be as aggressive as she is, because they made her a joke where she's jobbing out to everybody. Then all of a sudden she came out.
Use that word.
It's kind of like, again, Hook. They had Hook as a guy who was undefeated for so long, and now all of a sudden he's just tapping out to everybody.
Yeah, you can't do nothing with a guy with a haircut like that. Come on.
Anyway, guys, again, that wraps up our show. Catch us tomorrow night. Please subscribe to the podcast. Catch us again Thursday for the AEW Blood Guts recap.
Can I apologize for my outburst?
No, absolutely not. I love that.
Oh, good, because I don't want to. Oh,
I love authentic. I do. Robbie, final words.
Looking forward to Thursday night.
There you go, guys. Again, please subscribe to the podcast. Go ahead, Bob or Robbie.
I didn't say.
I was going to say thanks to everybody for joining in and throwing out the questions and your comments. Greatly appreciate it.
You know, technically his name is Bob too. So there you go.
It's very confusing with the name Idol. I want to call him freaking Billy Idol, Brian Idol, Austin Idol. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Austin Idol is what he got the name from, so that's who you call him from.
Yeah. Don't confuse me anymore.
I stole it from Austin.
Red says, I know I read the book. Red said, goodbye. It's been all of your pleasure, Dr. Red, Tyler. And then he says, thank you, gentlemen. Hashtag trust me, Red. Thank you for joining.
That kind of an ego. That's a double Legends lunch band. January and 3 months later. Nope. Gonna have Sean throw you right out. He's security.
You guys have a great week. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.